And I think that, you know, he's got, he just wiped out my mineral line with these 3 zealots, and, 8 kills on that zealot, 3 on that one, 4 on that one. And with the Zerglings that just hatched, I do manage to fend off this attack. I take a lot of losses because he's got sort of a little block here, but I do fend off this attack, and, he's got more zealots on the way. And I'm thinking, what should I do? And I decide that I'm going to make it, I've replaced my queen. I got another one on the way, but that was actually an accident. I cancel it in just a moment. And I decide that I want to make it look like I'm trying really hard to defend this base, because it is my main. I start queuing up more Zerglings, got more military units building. I'm upgrading +1 Carapace on the Evolution Chamber. Someone told me that that makes Zealots 3-shot Zerglings instead of 2-shot. So yeah, that's important. I'm building that, researching that. And I continue to build Zerglings, from this base. It's really inconsequential if I lose it, but I want it to look like I'm working really hard to defend this base. But, meanwhile, my lair's up. I queue up some more larvae in just a moment. I got drones mining minerals. In a moment I task them to mine gas, and I take that other extractor. This one's, going to be up and running in a little bit. And I got a bunch of Zerglings. Yeah. Not all of them are fighting. He's trying to snipe my hatchery. And, I get us around. I think I fend off this attack as well. Yeah, I do. And I think I queue up the 2 remaining larvae, because there's, 2 larvae here. The Carapace is about done. I believe I turn these 2 into drones and then retake this base, because I want to make it look like I'm losing the game and working hard to defend my one and only base, or so I want my opponent to think. Meanwhile, this base is almost completely up and running. I've got lots and lots of resources in the bank. And in a moment, I think I put down a Hydralisk den over here. No, not that one. Anyway, my opponent, what's he got? He has that much in the bank. He's got about 600 of each resource. He's building 2 more gateways. He's got 4 warp gates active so far. He's got 2 researches queued up, ground weapons and ground armor. And he's also researching Blink. But he's not using Chrono Boost. He's still got 4 drones here and 1 over here. He still doesn't have, in my opinion, this isn't enough for mining minerals. And he's got all these researches going on, and he's not using his Chrono Boost. And I think that's bad. I think that's very bad. He's also got a lot of supply and not a lot of military units. This is his entire army at the moment. And he's got this little proxy pylon. It's not really as close as it should be to be considered a proxy pylon, but it is still sort of a proxy pylon, so I'm going to call it a proxy pylon. Wahoo. Meanwhile, I'm building Zerglings. I'm building drones. I just now took that extractor. My Hydralisk den is now up, and once I get enough gas, I think I research range upgrade for Hydralisks. And of course, my first Hydralisks are out. My second gas of this expansion is up, and in a moment I queue up some more larvae and task some drones onto that gas. Meanwhile, my opponent is killing these buildings, but it doesn't matter. I already researched Ground Carapace level 1. That evolution chamber had served its purpose, and I'm on my way to take another base. I'm still having some Zerg macro issues, and I'm still having, issues with having enough larvae and spawning overlords on the proper supply and timer. They're a very different race from the other races. So, yeah, I'm still working on it. In the interest of better managing that, I built an additional hatchery at this expansion over here. And as it turns out, I think he scouts it. But I've got a bunch of Hydralisks on the way. I think I build more larvae in a moment. Range is being upgraded. I've got drones on gas. I've got drones on gas here, and I think I put more drones on gas over here in just a moment. So stuff is happening, and I've got a lot of resources in the bank. I've got a lot of minerals, but not a lot of gas, and I think I, claim the gas in the interest of rectifying that. Range has been upgraded for the Hydralisks. And my opponent has discovered my 3rd expansion. So yeah, and he takes the base out. He kills everything. But I think he makes a pretty critical error, because now look what he's got in the bank. He's got over 1,000 of each resource in the bank, and he's got 50 supply out of a potential 82 supply. And I think this is a pretty bad, this is what happened that, this is really bad. Because he stops producing military units when he thinks he's won the game. And, he really could have built up a much larger army. And he probably could have taken on, my force if he scouted properly and if he built a large enough army and macroed up a bit better. Because, the game's not over until the other person quits. And what's funny is neither of our armies notice each other. He moves his zealots over here and eventually scouts them over here and they die. And I move my Hydralisks and, nobody knows each other at the time. And now he loses them from scouting the high yield. Then he sends these zealots over. He's warping in some more zealots to replace the ones he lost. And they get completely owned, as you will now see. Let's zoom in on it, shall we? Anyway, overconfidence is a really bad weakness in this game. And a lot of games can be turned around very quickly when one person macros up and stops replacing military units and stops building their army. So yeah, my opponent, he's got plenty in the bank. He could have built a lot of military units. He could have completely owned this force. He could have built a much larger army than I had. I'm still working on my macros, you can see by the very small amount of gas that I have. So he got overconfident and he stopped producing military units, basically. And now my army is attacking his base. So, yeah. Well, the game's coming to a close now. To recap everything, I went for 14 hatch, 13 pool build with a dual extractor trick. I went for a hidden expansion and put my tech there. Put my lair there, put my Hydralisk den there, research range for the Hydralisks. Then claimed a gold mineral field that was closer to my opponent's base, but less likely to be scouted, in my opinion. That's what I thought was going to happen, and I guess I was right. And then I started building Hydralisks. So, yeah. Dual hidden expansion on Kulas Ravine as Zerg. And, he goes, wow, GG, he calls GG, and the game's about to come to a close. He asked me where I was, and I answer him honestly. He did destroy my main base, but I just converted my natural expansion to my real main base. That had all the tech and stuff like that. So, the game's about to end, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. So, yeah, this is my first ranked league game, Silver League, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Belthazor 3457, and I'm out. Laters.